Good afternoon, CS and the team. Mungole Stephen, Senior Auditor from Office of the Auditor General.
Good afternoon, Chair. Good afternoon, all the honorable members of the committee. Good afternoon, management team of Lumezi Town Council. My name is Asiame Kedrick, representing the Office of the Accountant General, coming from Ministry of Finance and National Planning as a permanent witness. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Honorable Chairperson, and good afternoon, honorable members of the committee. Good afternoon, Lumezi Town Council, and welcome. My name is Robin Banda, coming from the Office of the Controller of Internal Audit at Ministry of Finance and National Planning. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Honorable Chair and the committee. Welcome, Lumezi. I'm Edwin Sirwimba from Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development.
Good afternoon, Chair. Good afternoon, honorable members. Good afternoon, CS and your team. My name is Innocent Mwemba from the Office of the Clerk.
Good afternoon. I'm Moses Chuva from the Office of the Clerk.
Thank you very much. And I invite you now, Council Secretary, to introduce yourself and allow your colleagues to do the same. Please go ahead. Your mic. Yes, switch it on, place it down there. Yes.
Good afternoon, Chair. Good afternoon, Honorables. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Mary Sinkala, the Council Secretary for Lumezi Town Council.
Okay. Switch it off.
Good afternoon, Chair, and good afternoon, honorable members. I'm Aaron Keith Kuchayo, Council Treasurer for Lumezi Town Council.
Good afternoon, Chair. Good afternoon, honorable members. I'm Lloyd Nkonde, Procurement Officer, Lumezi Town Council.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Chair. Good afternoon, honorables. My name is Patrick Piri, Internal Auditor, Lumezi Town Council.
Good afternoon, Chair. Good afternoon, honorable members. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Mwape Mloboko, the Director of Works.
Good afternoon, Chair. Good afternoon, honorables. I'm Edson Lungu, District Planning Officer, Lumezi.
Thank you very much, honorable members. Honorable Singombe.
Chair, I'm grateful. Good afternoon, Lumezi Council. I'm Singombe Edgar, representing Dundumwezi constituency of Kalomo Southern Province. You are welcome. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson, and good afternoon, Lumezi Council. My name is Elliot Kamundo, Member of Parliament for Mfumbwe constituency in Northwestern Province, and a member of this committee. You are welcome.
Thank you, Chair, and good afternoon, permanent witnesses and honorable members, and afternoon, Lumezi. I am Honorable Dr. Aaron Mwanza, Area Member of Parliament for Kaumbwe constituency, Petauke District. Thank you. Honorable Mtero.
Chair, good afternoon. Lumezi, good afternoon. You are welcome to your committee. Mutelo Mishek is my name, MP for Mitete, and a member of this committee. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Good afternoon, Chair. Good afternoon, our permanent witnesses. Good afternoon, Lumezi Town Council. This is Honorable Lohamba Mwene, Member of Parliament for Mangango constituency in Kaoma District in Western Province, and I'm a member of this committee. You are welcome. Thank you.
Chair, good afternoon, and good afternoon, everyone. Welcome Lumezi Town Council to Mandevu constituency, where I represent the good people of Mandevu. Like the chair said, my name is Christopher Shakafuso. I'm a member of the committee. Thank you.
Chair, I greet you after lunch. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, fellow members of parliament. Good afternoon, permanent witnesses. Lumezi, good afternoon and welcome. Meshek Mutetwa Nyambose, representing the special people of Chasefu constituency. Tampokererani, you are welcome once again. Thank you.
Vice Chair.
Good afternoon, Chair. Once again, good afternoon, honorable members of parliament. Good afternoon, Lumezi Council. Good afternoon, permanent witnesses. My name is Honorable Kampamba Mlenga, member of parliament for the good people of Kalubushi on the Copper Belt, and I'm also vice chairperson of the committee. Good afternoon.
Thank you very much. Lumezi Town Council, Mulunda Darius, member of parliament for Siavonga constituency, and the chairperson for this committee, the committee on local government accounts, the committee appearing before this afternoon. Members of parliament, Town Secretary, enjoy the immunity in the house, and the same is extended to you when you appear before any parliamentary committee, that whatever we are going to say during our interaction will not be used against you in any courts of law. But if you choose to mislead this committee, the same will be used against you. And I'm on a firm belief that you will not mislead us and that you are going to give us factual information, the information that we use to draft a very good report. With that said, I want to invite you now to make your submission to this committee with further guidance that your submission starts on page 2. So on page 2, that is part 1, you look at the youth, women, and the community empowerment. And then you go to the management response. From there, you go to the action that you have taken, and eventually the remedial measures that you have put in place. So I'd invite you to proceed with your submission, Madam.
Thank you, Chair. I wish to seek your indulgence because there are certain things that we need to make corrections, which we discovered later.
Please go ahead.
Thank you. So we make corrections under Appendix 9.
Appendix 9?
Appendix 6.
Or 6?
6, there is a correction on the balance where it says...
members, Appendix 6.
Appendix 6, 2022 CDF status report for Lumezi. Appendix 6, that's item number 5. The figures there, 460,000. Then the next column, expenditure to date, it's supposed to read 414,000. 414. 414,000. That's the expenditure to date. Then the next column, balance, the balance should read 45,999. Then the other correction we need to make is on page 17. That's in my report.
Page 17.
Page 17 of my report. That's Appendix 9. There is Bursary Secondary School and Development and Spent Grants. There is a table here.
Yes.
That is giving us There is a table. We hold on to that. Then we go to Appendix 9. There are certain corrections we need to make. Just hold on the same, page 17. Then Appendix 9, there is an authority from the Ministry of Local Government that was on variation of the Constituency Development Fund, which was granted to vary funds from skills development, which we had requested to procure desks. So the amount which is here, which is 4,382,000, is not corresponding to the amount that we had used. Reasons, Appendix 10, is that so? Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Appendix 10.
Appendix 10.
Yes. There is a letter of authority from the Ministry of Local Government.
Okay.
So the ministry approved, of course we wrote to the ministry. At that time we didn't have students that came forth, but with time we had received applicants, and these fees were specifically for bursaries and skills. So you find that instead of us using the approved amount, we used 4,202,000 because the number of students had increased. So that's a correction that we can.
So where are we correcting? On the authority or?
Yeah, so the authority is saying 4,382,000, yes. But we used 4,202. Yes. So that's then we also need to make corrections on the ledger cards.
Yes.
The status report.
So there is no correction, madam, because the ministry gave you 4,382,000.
Yes.
But what you used is 4,202,000. So it's fine.
Okay.
So you can proceed and submit.
Of course, there are other documents that were omitted in the report. We have two. The one with the pictures for the projects that have been undertaken. Then there's one, the minutes of the CDF committee. So those should have been Appendix 1, should have been under the first one. It's fine? Okay, thank you, Chair. Maybe
Imagine. Yes, please continue.
Okay, thank you, Chair. So I'll start. Item number 1. It's failure to provide financial records by cooperatives. The cause of the query: management acknowledges the findings of the auditor that financial documents were not provided by the 3 clubs at the time of the audit. The custodians of the documents in the group were not available to provide the documents when the auditors came to monitor. Then the action taken that the council made a follow-up to the 3 cooperatives and managed to have availed the minutes and expenditure records from those 3 which did not provide when the auditors came through. We can see it on Appendix 1. That's where the attachments are. The financial.
Please continue without going to the
appendixes. Okay,
yes,
that's fine.
Continue.
Then remedial measures. Management has guided the organized groups to ensure that copies of records of expenditures and minutes are also kept by other members of the executive committee, so that each time there is somebody that is monitoring, the other members should be able to avail these documents as and when they are needed. The other query, Chair, number 2, mixed payment of grants, fixed payments of grants to cooperatives. The cause of the query: management acknowledges the findings by the auditors and wishes to state that this was due to the CDFC's decision to allocate equal amounts to eligible applicants who meet the grant requirements, regardless of the nature of the project. Action taken. Management wishes to report that the matter was reported to the Audit Committee, which recommended that the CDFC should avoid the allocation of small amounts to clubs stroke cooperatives. Also, that the Council, with the help of support NGOs like the local impact governance, we've managed to reorient all the CDFC members, the WCDS, CDs, on their roles and responsibilities, and also on the CDF Fund Act, as well as the Constituency Development Fund Guidelines of 2022. Remedial measure. Continued sensitization of the CDFC on their roles and responsibilities, as well as the guidelines for the CDF. Item number 3, unprofitable cooperative, Kufuku Women's Club. Chair, the cause of the query. Management acknowledges the findings of the auditor that at the time of the audit, the 75 chicks which were ordered died of an unknown disease, leading to a loss of 8,500. Action taken. Management wishes to report that the monitoring team also conducted a follow-up inspection to observe the performance of the group at the beginning of the month of December, which revealed that the club executive members recovered the funds and that the group applied for the change of project, which was approved by the council, and the group contributed funds and used it to venture into maize farming and village banking. The local authority has also engaged Ministry of Fisheries and Livestock to do capacity building for cooperatives who are engaging in livestock farming before the disbursement of the funds, and also when the cooperatives are making the business proposals in order to guide them on the type of vaccines to prevent any loss that may arise due to diseases. Appendix 3 has some documentations there. Then remedial measures. Management has made training. Of course, trainings were conducted to all the beneficiaries in order to build capacity for all grant beneficiaries before the disbursement of the funds into their accounts. Item 4, selling of petroleum product without a license, Zenge Multipurpose Cooperative Limited. Cause of the query. Management acknowledges the findings by the auditors at the time of the audit, and this happened due to lack of knowledge of the Petroleum Act of 2008 by cooperatives, and also the insufficient amounts allocated to the group. Action taken. Management wishes to report that a stop order was issued to the group on the matter and emphasized on the need for the group to seek approval from the council before changing the business venture. The council further made a follow-up, and the group gave feedback on 27th June 2023 stating that they had stopped the petroleum business and were venturing into a maize farming project, and authority to change the venture was granted by the council. The local authority issued public notices to all beneficiaries to guide them on the procedure as and when they want to change the business venture. Remedial measure. The council will enhance sensitization through the Office of the Public Relations Officer, the council chair, and others who have planned programs in all the wards on the need for the empowerment components, beneficiaries to curtail the risks of changing business ventures without consent from the local authority. We go to Part B, cross-cutting issues, budget performance. Cause of the query. Management acknowledges the auditor's observations and wish to state that the outstanding funds at the time of audit were as a result of delays in the approval of projects. That was at the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development. Also, that some funds, committed funds to ongoing projects, prolonged processes for contract clearance for community projects by the Office of the Attorney General in Lusaka. On prior and post-auditing, there was no report received from TMMU about a disaster to fund a project under disaster contingency. The balance brought forward was for ongoing projects from the previous year, 2021. At the time of audit, most of the grant beneficiaries' accounts were inactive, and the approved list of loan beneficiaries were still inactive, as the bank were still processing the applicants since the transaction could not be processed. There was also low turnout of potential learners under the secondary boarding and skills development bursaries component in the constituents, which led to less expenditure from the bursary. Also, some students under the skills development bursary could not report to their respective institutions despite being accepted in various institutions. Action taken under community projects. Management wishes to report that a sum of 7,735,183.91 has so far been spent on the works executed on community projects. Then under disaster also, the Disaster Management Committee also sat, and the funds were spent on two projects. One was Katete Bridge, and then one on one of the schools. Then the bursaries component, the local authorities sought authority for a variation of funds amounting to 4,202,558 from unutilized funds for secondary school boarding bursary towards the procurement of desks. Remedial measure, the local authority, of course, we have now the decentralized system where approvals are now being done at the province. We have the Office of the Attorney General at the provincial office. We also have the Director of Finance or the Treasury, who has now been clearing the contracts. So those are some of the remedial measures that are currently there. Appendix 2, failure to spend. Cause of the query. Management acknowledges the auditor's findings. At the time of the audit, that 11,938.162 allocated for community projects was unspent at the time of the audit. However, management wishes to state that failure to spend was due to delays in the approval of the projects, of course, by the Ministry of Local Government. Authority was submitted in July. The final approval from the ministry was received in October, and the procurement process commenced immediately. Also, the procurement process has required that some projects, owing to thresholds demanded that a floating period be 1 month. The clearance of contracts by the Ministry of Justice took a longer period for contracts to be cleared, thereby leading to delays in the commencement of works. The district also comprises of the Valley and the Plateau. Thus, the projects on the Valley part of the district could only be implemented between May and October. As a result, even after awarding the contracts to contractors, they could not take site possession certificates because the project sites could not be accessed at the time. The local authority action taken, there is a table there. The funds that were unspent currently, as you see at the end of the table, all the amounts have been spent. So the local authority wishes to report that an amount of 11,938,162 has so far been spent on the works executed on community projects. Remedial measure. Management has ensured that project identification, advertisements, desk, field appraisals of the projects are done before the end of the year, so that desks and field appraisals and approvals are done before the end of every year, then awaiting implementation in the first quarter of the coming year. Appendix 3, misapplication of funds. The cause of the query. Management wishes to acknowledge the findings of the auditors at the time of the audit. This was because of the misunderstanding of the intention of the funds by the beneficiaries. This was coupled with a decision of the CDFC to allocate fixed amounts to the beneficiaries rather than the applied amount as per applications. Action taken. Management wishes to report that the groups were written to for purposes of changing the project, and feedback has been given in form of letters requesting the council to give them permission to change the business ventures, and authority was granted by the council. Management has resorted to ensuring that clubs are allocated the funds they applied for by reorienting the CDFC members. The local authority, also with the help of local impact governance, has reoriented the chairperson of the WDCs. Okay, sorry. The local authority.
You can just put, yeah.
The local authority, with the support from the local impact governance, has also oriented the CDF chairpersons, the WDCs. During the orientation meeting, also emphasis was given on the need to give beneficiary groups amounts applied for in order for the groups to implement projects proposed in the applications. Remedial measure. Management will continue to sensitize the CDFC members on their roles and function and advise them not to change amounts for beneficiaries. Appendix 7, misapplication of funds. Management, cause of query. Management acknowledges the findings of the audit at the time of verification. This was due to non-availability of the executive members of the group who were in custody of the documents that were showing recoveries to avail to auditors at the time of the verification. Action taken. Management wishes to report that a follow-up was made and to Kwimi organized group wrote to the council indicating that the funds were recovered through disciplinary action. The group also resolved to include a clause in their constitution that whoever defaults after disciplinary action will involve the law enforcement agencies to recover the funds from the defaulters. Management has further written to all beneficiary groups indicated in involved in village banking projects to include a clause on action to be taken on the recovery of funds from defaulters in their constitution. Remedial measure. Management will continue to engage grant beneficiaries to ensure that clauses on the recovery of funds is included in their constitution so that executive members can be made to easily recover the funds in case of defaulting. Appendix 8, failure to disburse soft loans. Cause of query. Management acknowledges the findings by the auditors. However, the policy guidelines from the ministry were only received in November 2022, which allowed the funds to be dispersed the following year. Action taken. Management wishes to report that funds were deposited in the revolving fund account held with Atlas Mara and that the loans were dispersed to all the beneficiaries under 2022. Remedial measure. Management has ensured that the loan applications are advertised, identified, and approved in the preceding year by the PCDFCs so that all matters relating to the processing of applications and disbursement of the funds into the beneficiaries' account are concluded before the receipt of the funds from the Ministry of Finance in the first quarter of every year. Appendix 9. Bursary, secondary school and skills development and spent grants. Cause of query. Management wishes to acknowledge the findings by the auditors at the time of audit verifications that 4,202,558 was unspent from secondary boarding and skills development bursary component was due to low response levels from the community. Action taken. Management wishes to report after noticing the poor response from the community under this component, it was reported to the CDFC that the funds be vowed to be used for the procurement of 3,500 desks in line with the presidential directive of ensuring that no child sits on the floor by December 2024. Remedial measure. The local authority embarked on the sensitization of communities through public notices, radio programs, brochures, newsletters, social media, Facebook, and WhatsApp, community sensitization, and television documentaries. The local authority also encouraged the registered TVETA accredited institutions to station their personnel in strategic places in the district and stay for days so that I could do registration of students in the district. Chair, this ends my report.
Thank you very much. Honorable Yambose, Honorable Mwene, and Honorable Shagafuso.
Chair, page 2.
Page 2 of the report.
Page 2 of the report, Chair. Youth, women, and community empowerment. Council Secretary, we are there.
Yes, Chair.
Between September and October 22, the Council gave grants to totaling 1,954,640 to 168 cooperatives.
Yes.
An inspection of the accounting records and physical inspection of the cooperatives carried out in September 2023 revealed that 3 cooperatives that received grants in amounts totaling 33,338 did not provide records such as minutes, expenditure, and 180 sales records for the business ventures, making it difficult to ascertain how the received funds were utilized. Chair, I take you to action taken. First, I want to read the management response. I'll just go to the custodians of the documents in the groups were not available to provide the documents to the auditors. First statement I want to underline, CS. Okay. Now, coming to the action taken, the council made a follow-up to the 3 cooperatives and managed to avail the minutes and the expenditure records. The first question, Chair, to the CS and the team is, before my substantive one, is when were you audited?
Council Secretary.
Thank you, Chair. The audit was done in June.
In June
2023.
Thank you very much, CS. You can switch off your mic.
Thank you.
CS, the minutes for the 3 clubs were missing during the time of audit. And now you said that you managed to trace them. They are available. I want you to take us to Appendix 1, CS. Are we there? Appendix 1 is, I think, amongst the 3 clubs, one of the minutes for Kavipendo multi-purpose cooperative meeting minutes, isn't it? Dated 11th October 2023. And this is the evidence that you have brought to say that during the time of audit, these minutes were missing. And I believe that others are attached. These minutes were missing because auditors were asking for them. They were not there. Now they are available. Dated October 11th, 2023, after audit. This is when this meeting for the club took place. Town Council Secretary. I have not finished. Oh. The question is, you have taken to follow Cap 12 to give factual information. Is it true that these minutes during the time of audit were just misplaced, were not there, or this is when you have manufactured them on 11th October 2023, way after the audit which took place in June? Thank you very much, Chair.
Thank you, Chair. Actually, there were more than 3 clubs that were monitored at the time when the auditors came. So the other 3 were not available to produce their books. And also, I'm sure you may also be aware that these rural areas, it's very difficult for people to come up with some certain minutes, documentation, business plans and everything. So after identification that some of them did not even understand, they would even just buy things without even recording what they bought. but they had to be trained to be shown how to manage some of these things. So most of the communities that we work with, most of them are illiterate groups, so they need a lot of capacity building. So when the auditors came in June, my officers made follow-ups, and they discovered that some of them were not even able to manage some of these things. But they guided them on how they should be able to write minutes and how to do the bookkeeping and other things, Chair. I submit.
Thank you. Ask a follow-up. Have you seen the date of the minutes?
Yes, Chair. I've seen it's 11th October.
October.
Yes.
Are you confirming your mic? It's still on. These minutes were not available. You have your competent team of planners, socio-economic planner, and the rest. And prior to this, WDCs and clubs were sensitized. And one of the conditions before qualifying for any application, they must be registered as a club. They should have minutes for reasons why they want to apply for a certain project. Now you are telling this committee that they are not able to write minutes. Who wrote these minutes for 11th October 2023? If these were availed to the auditors, was it going to be an issue to be raised? And if they were done in October and not prior to June, was this going to be an issue? That's my question.
Honorable Mtero, Honorable Shagafoso, and Honorable Simumba.
Thank you, Chair. Well, my question is just direct. When you explain a lot will come out. The question was, where were these minutes when the auditors came? Did you manufacture them after the auditors had left and now they are here?
Honorable Shagafusa, just hold on, yes. Yes, all these are follow-up questions.
Yes, it's a follow-up, Chair. I think we have an issue that from the statement which is made in the document when the CS is saying the custodian of the documents in the groups were not available to provide the documents to the auditors at the time. And action taken, like my colleague Honorable Nyambosa said, the council made a follow-up to the 3 cooperatives and have managed to avail the minutes and expenditure record. The correct version is there were no documents at the time. Is it true that there were no documents at the time and they only managed to come up with documents after you followed them up?
Honorable Simumba, you have a follow-up as well?
Yes, Chair. Chair, I think we need the CS to help us, and she has to be relaxed. Why am I saying so, Chair? She has stated that they were audited in June 2023. So which means if they were audited in June, these documents were not there by June. Now, the documents which the auditors were looking for, there was a meeting on the 11th October. Have you seen the mishap? So we want to understand which one came first. Is it the meeting which came first, or the documents which were lost? We want to know which one came first between the meeting and the documents which were not available. Chair, I submit.
Council Secretary.
Thank you, Chair. May I request the internal auditor to just shed more light on this?
Internal auditor.
Thank you, Chair. Truly, I can confirm that at the time of the audit, there were 3 clubs that didn't avail the minutes. So, as the council, we made follow-up to the clubs and, of course, engaging them from time to time, just as the council secretary has explained. People in the rural areas, they are still learning about how to go about with the documentation, minutes writing, and also the financial records. So what happened was, after we made follow-up, we told them to send the minutes through to the council. Unfortunately, they should have sent the minutes that happened for the meeting that happened after the audit was done. So on that one, I think we didn't just specify the type of minutes, or maybe the date, the minutes dated at the time of the audit, the ones that we requested for.
These were sent after the audit. Okay. Internal auditor. No wonder Honorable Shakafuso has said, why can't you just come out in open to say at the time of audit, these minutes were not there? Meaning, these 3 clubs were CS funded without them having minutes. Internal audit, yes or no? Because you are now trying to say, no, of course they sent us different types of minutes. The real ones are still with them. So which ones? Do clubs produce 2 types of minutes?
Internal auditor.
Okay. So I would want to shed more light on.
Please go ahead.
Yes. So whenever the clubs have a meeting, we requested them that they should be providing minutes. So at the time that we told them that they should provide minutes, these are the minutes that they brought through. Of course, I should say that there were, at the time of the audit, there were no minutes.
So we want you, that's why we give you the immunity. We confer you with the immunity at the beginning of the meeting. It's for you to just give us straightforward answers. We didn't have this, we didn't have this. If there was an oversight, you say there was an oversight here, it's an omission from our part. Yes, this is what we did. Because, like my colleague has put it, when you try to explain, then you provoke everyone to think. Honorable Nyambose.
Yes, Chair. My concern, just from the start of this session, looks, Chair, like there is no monitoring programs by the Council. The auditors stated very well that you have sensitized the people to make these minutes. And when they are making these minutes, Chair, these minutes were put in this document by not the clubs, not even WDC, not even CDF committee, but yourselves. And when you are putting them as evidence, you were answering to a question. The year of audit was 2022. Before June 2023, you should have checked the date of these minutes. That club, before they left the office, you should have checked the date that this is in October. The minutes should have read the date before audit. But you allowed it and put in this report, giving us, misleading this committee. Now you are saying they didn't have minutes. That's why one of the honorable members says, you have just manufactured them. You are now blaming the clubs. And if you are doing monitoring, planner and the other people, CS,
These are the things that should be following to ensure that these minutes for the meetings are put in place. This is misleading, and I want you to learn from this. Thank you, Chair.
Honorable Mwene, yeah. Another question?
Thank you so much, Chair. CS, I would like to take you to page 17.
Page 17 of your report?
Yes, please, of the report. Chair, on page 17, Lumezi, it's stating that Lumezi was only able to enroll students on secondary schools and skills development, only 41, Chair, according to the report that we have here. And the unspent fund, Chair, the unspent money on this allocation is about 4,202,558. Chair, this entails us that many learners, Chair, did not go for their skills development and were not paid for at their secondary schools. Now, I wanted to confirm with them. They are telling us in this report, Chair, that on Appendix 10, Chair, that they conducted, Lumezi conducted a lot of sensitizations, which is some slight evidence. Okay? Maybe the first question that I would want to state is the meetings you were holding to sensitize the populations of Lumezi, which is about a population share of about 158,971, according to the 2022 census. Only 41 learners were able to go to school out of that total population. And the Chair, they are telling your committee that in spite of such a smaller number out of the total of 158 population, in spite of them having only 41 learners go to school, they conducted massive sensitizations. Chair, when I look at these pictures that they have showed here, this first picture, Chair, they are saying it was in May, but it is showing it's like it's rain season. And the first picture, the second picture, Chair, is slightly different that we can differentiate. But when we look at, Chair, the first picture and the third picture, they are almost equivalent, as well as the sixth picture. Now, Chair, I want the council to confirm whether truly these were massive sensitizations they were conducting on different days, or they have just attached this just to show one of the or two of the sensitizations they did out of all the wards in Lumezi. And secondly, Chair, apart from these sensitizations, what other evidence does Lumezi Council have to show to your committee that they were conducting other sensitizations, apart from this, which is depicting that this was one meeting actually they captured at different angles? Chair, I'm a camera person as well. So,
question, sir?
Yes, Chair. The question is, can Lumezi confirm that they conducted different meetings in different wards at different places, apart from this seemingly one meeting they are depicting? Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much. Council Secretary, confirm that in your sensitization drive, you conducted more than one meeting.
Okay, thank you so much, Chair. Of course, these sensitizations were planned for all the wards, that is in 2023. Otherwise, 2022, when we received the huge CDF amounts, we thought people would come, we advertised and so on. But 2023, that's how it's, I think under a media measure, it's written that we have embarked on massive sensitization, meaning even the numbers for 2023, we have quite a huge numbers, because after we discovered that, we had put in certain measures. Even now, we even have, I think we've been doing radio programs, we've been going through word by word, holding these sensitization meetings. We have evidence, though. I have something on my phone. It's a radio program that was done in Chipata where we invited students from Chipata trades.
Honorable Kamunda. Honorable Simombe. Honorable Nyambosi.
Chair, thank you very much. Lumezi Council, I just wanted to find out from you, because here you have indicated that 41 students actually were trained. Do we see a number of these students coming back benefiting from the 2024 as a result of their training from various institutions paid for by CDF, and in which areas?
Honorable Shakafuso.
Chair, I've gone through the CDF community sensitization activity report, which they have attached. And in there, they've itemized some of the challenges that the public relations unit is facing. And one of them is the lack of the public address system because of the huge attendance of the people. Have you procured a PA system to aid the council at your meetings?
Honorable Nyambose, please take note of those.
Thank you, Chair. CS. Chair, indeed I want to pick it up from one of our members of parliament here who has said 41 is a worrisome situation, 41 number. Chair, you may note that Lumezi is one of the biggest constituencies in Eastern Province. So it has the plateau and the valley. And the council has a vehicle, or before even the monitoring vehicles. Council Secretary, in your experience as a Council Secretary in Lumezi, do you think that the sensitization that is being questioned has been effective for you to record only 41 students applying for these courses? Chair, I'm worried. I come from the same direction. I know Lumezi, I know Lundazi, I know Chairman. 41 is a small number. And to me, I also question the massive sensitization that is being depicted in the report. I'm sure if we had an effective sensitization program, the numbers could have been more. Chair, in Eastern Province, just like other parts of the country, as I wind up, Chair, I just wanted to say this. If you just even tell the headman that tomorrow I'm coming, the council is coming for a meeting, you find a huge number. You don't need that's why we're asking for a PA system. So there's no need for to lament about the challenges of people gathering. In Eastern Province, people gather in huge numbers. Thank you, Chair.
Council Secretary.
Thank you so much, Chair. I would start with the first question, that what is it that we are doing for those that have actually graduated from this skills center? In under 2023, Chair, I would love to mention that we had given contracts to do desks for the youths who graduated from Chipata Trades. We gave about 3 youths that formed a club, a cooperative, and then they made the desk for Lumezi. Then others, they are actually being contracted to do even a office at the council, those that went to do bricklaying. So otherwise, we as a local authority, we are trying by all means to ensure that these people that are graduating, we even advertise sometimes for them. If there are people outside the district that would want to have them after graduation, we actually do that. So about 3 cooperatives benefited. They did about over 300 desks that were given to them. Then the second question on the PS system. I would love to mention that under 2023-24, the Public Relations Officer in his budget, he has also included the PS system. So meaning once the projects are approved, we are going to procure the PS system for the PRO. We used to use the one for Ministry of Health, but those are smaller ones. The PS system.
Before you ask, mine was this number 41. Was
This
it-
is 2022. But 2023, we have over 300 students that have been sponsored under Skills Development Chair.
Thank you very much. Honorable Simumba.
I still have some questions that I have not answered. Yeah, there was the third question. The other one was, yeah, okay. I think I'm done because I've talked about the students. Yes. We have about 400 students, over 400 that have been sponsored under that.
Chair, thank you. Mine I'll take you to page 8. Chair, I'm interested in the community projects where the unspent funds, that of 7,735,183.91 has been spent exactly the same way it was, and it has given us a zero and balance. Chair, in accounts, you need really to question the type of transaction that happened, exactly the same amount. Now, I want to take you to Appendix 6. Yes, Appendix 6, Chair, there are some projects that have underlined, which are going, like for instance, construction of a staff house at Katawa, 100%, those which they have completed. And I was looking for some completion certificates that they have attached. I've just seen one, and this one, Chair, the Director of Works never signed, the Council Secretary never signed. So I wanted to find out if this is one of the evidence to show this committee that the projects are done or not. Chair, here is not signed. And also the types of projects that they undertook to make sure that the unspent is equivalent to that amount of expenditure. Chair, submit.
Secretary.
Thank you, Chair. May I request the Council Treasurer to answer to that?
Council Treasurer.
Thank you very much, Chair. On the table which we've just shown in our report showing that we've spent all the funds, we are just trying to communicate to the committee that initially all the community projects have been undertaken and all the monies have been committed, the entire 7.375. But when you go to the ledgers, you will see that amongst the same projects, there are some small balances indicating the retentions which are remaining to the same projects. We've attached the same under Appendix 6, where there is also a status report from the Engineers Department.
Appendix 2?
Appendix 6. There's a ledger, summarized one, but we have the individual ledgers which are supporting those figures, which will show that there are some figures which are remaining in the same channel, in the same 7.35. There's this one.
Chair, I wanted to, are you telling this committee that if we are to do an addition to this budget allocation and expenditure, we'll find out that you have spent everything. We're going to have zero there.
What I'm trying to put across, Chair, is in the table, we are showing that all the monies have been committed since all the projects for 2022 have been done. But when we go to the individual ledgers under finance, we'll be able to see that there are some balances under each project which are showing that those balances, they are meant for retention. But in the nutshell, all the projects have been spent. We're just waiting for the duration period to pay.
Honorable Manza, switch off your mics. Switch off your mics.
Thank you, Chair. On the same unspent funds. If I take you to page 10 of your report, can you confirm the total number of community projects that are either ongoing or completed, funded under 2022, or even carry over from 2021? How many community projects are being implemented in Lumezi? I can see that you have, tell me the number so I can follow, I can give the substantial question. That should be an offhand, yeah? How many? Community projects, total number. Okay. How many?
Chair, before I asked that why they haven't signed this completion certificate. She hasn't answered because yes.
Honorable members, let's follow this order. Let's answer that question, yes. Then we'll come to honorable member for. Let's begin with Honorable Simomba's concern.
Thank you, Chair. May I please request the Director of Works to give an update on the completion certificate?
Director of Works.
Okay. Thank you, Chair. I would like by apologizing to the Honorable Member of Parliament. Unfortunately, that's a stray page. I think it's only appearing in your report. We have signed copies of completion certificates with us for your perusal if you would like to have a look. Thank you.
Secretariat, do you have that? Let's see what you have. No, let's see what you have, honorable member. Just, do we have that, secretariat? Honorable members, do we have such a one? Director is saying it's a stray. Honorable Nyambose, who is closer.
Honorable Simumba, you the one asking?
Yes, Chair. We want to find out because.
Okay, you can have a question from Honorable Mwanza. Ask your question, Honorable Mwanza. Do you have one?
Yes, thank you, Chair. I continue whilst
yes.
Yeah. The total number of projects you confirm is how many? And beside that, okay, so I take you to appendix number 6. Appendix 6, which is showing the status of community projects in Lumezi. There are 27 of them, according to this table. And a ledger, payment ledger is even attached. I have just done a snapshot. I can take you to project number 16. Installation of water reticulation system in Chamtoa. The budget is 1 million kwacha. And I'm just concerned with how much balance you have to spend on the project, but there is zero. So you have completed all the money, and yet the project is ongoing. Is there some indication, some application to apply for more funds for completion of this project? Because we are very much worried. Provision of water supply and sanitation is of vital concern. And then project number 3 shows it is complete, it is 100% complete. Construction of a 1x3 classroom block. It is 100% complete. But
Honorable members, let's pay attention.
Okay, on appendix number 6. So the table showing the CDF status report for Umezi on. So project number 3, construction of 1x3 classroom block at Chipembe Primary School. The project is complete. The balance is about 22%, which is above retention. Which is above the retention. The retention should be, I'm sure, 10%. So why are you still hoarding the money of the contractor when he has completed the project? And why there are no completion certificates? Are the facilities handed over to the community? These 12 projects that are showing complete, are they handed over to the community?
Town Secretary.
Thank you, Chair. May I request the Director of Works to shed
Director of
light?
Works. Your mic, yes.
Excuse me. So for the water reticulation system, the first table on Appendix 6 has an error. The balance should read 366,612.
Appendix 6.
Yes. If you can agree with me, if we subtract 633,000 from 1 million, the balance would be 366,000. I think that also reflects in the ledger. That's in the same Appendix 6.
Members, are we following?
The one that's reading 2022 CDF ledger summary, you'll be able to see that the correct figure is appearing there.
So who made this mistake?
Project number 14.
Who made this mistake? And what are you saying about it? Because these are numbers, these are figures, this is money, you know. Because maybe it is from your office, you are showing that there is zero balance for this particular project. And then the Director of Finance picked that they have some money there. So what was the intention of hiding the more than 300,000 kwacha?
Yes. A follow-up is CS and your team. Did you go through this report? Why I ask like this is because even when we started, I mentioned you are putting minutes dated way in 2023 after audit. Here you're saying there is a problem there. Here there is a stray document. Did you go through as management that you are appearing before this committee and the nation is watching and listening? They want to hear about Rumezi, how this CDF is being utilized. Did you go through this report as a team and to ascertain whether you have a good report to present before this committee?
Town Secretary.
Thank you, Chair. As management, we went through the report. We even made corrections, except at the time when I was presenting those corrections, I omitted this one. Otherwise, in our books, we made corrections, Chair. We wish to apologize for that mistake.
Director of Works is still answering. Yes.
Of project number 3, or?
What's the question again?
Oh, he mentioned to say what was the intention, the Honorable. Yes, on the remaining balance.
Yes.
On Chibembe?
The retention.
Okay, so Chibembe Primary School has actually been completed, was completed recently. So the contractor just made his claim. So the balance is showing this way because it hasn't been paid out yet. It's being paid out, I think, today or yesterday. That's why the balance is showing like this.
Do you have evidence, the claim?
The claim?
Yes.
I can get it for you, sir. I don't have it.
Get it for the committee.
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson. Mine actually is different from what we have been asking. The people of Rumezi are very excited, like any other constituencies, whereby when they heard that there were loans that were being given through CDF, people were very excited. Now, the monies were deposited in your account, that is Appendix 8, failure to disburse soft loans. These monies actually were deposited in this account, I think on the 24th March 2023, Appendix 9, yes. Yes, but it's Appendix 6, failure to disburse, but the information is on Appendix 9. I think that's what we are talking about. You delayed actually to disburse this money. Maybe the first excuse you gave is because you were still waiting for the guidelines. And even after the guidelines actually were given to you as a council, you still delayed by 3 months not issuing actually these loans. Now I wanted to find out what measures have you put in place so that going forward you don't delay the people of Rumezi to get these loans on time. And on the same one, have you also concluded the 2024 loans? And have you also disbursed the 2023, 2022, and then 2024? What is the current status? Have you already concluded the applications or not? And what assurance are you going to give this committee that you are going to do better than what you did?
Council Secretary.
Thank you, Chair. The issue of loans was delayed due to a number of factors. The banks were delaying. The monies were still in the revolving fund account, but the bank had other things that they were doing which could not have these monies spent. But I would love to mention to this committee that the 2022-2023 loans have all been disbursed at the same time. There is an attachment where you find the bank statements. It was done at the same time. That's Appendix 9. Appendix 9 has the bank, the statement showing both those that applied in 2022 and 2023, and as well as the ledger is also attached.
Yes,
yeah, we are delighted. However, I wanted to find out, this is a revolving fund which should have accrued some interest. You have not told this committee that that period when this money was just staying in the bank, it accrued some interest. If it did, how much interest was accrued and how much has been added to this money which you disbursed to the people?
Council Secretary.
Thank you, Chair. Let me allow the Treasurer to shed more light on this one.
Treasurer.
Thank you very much, Chair. As I was doing my reconciliation up to 31st December 2023, the only interest which was accrued so far, it was only 625. And after this meeting, we had to follow up the bank. The reason why, 625 kwacha. That's the only interest which I captured in my reconciliation. So I had to follow up with the bank. The reason why it doesn't accumulate a lot of interest. I submit, Chair.
When did you get that?
I did the reconciliations as at 31st December 2023.
1st or 31st? Yes.
Chair, page 13.
It's not possible.
Page 13, Chair.
Page 13.
We are there, yes? Yes, Chair. Misapplication of funds. 8 clubs
misapplied funds totaling 120,077 kwacha. Management wishes to acknowledge the findings of the auditors at the time of audit. This was because of misunderstanding of the intentions of the funds by the beneficiaries. This was coupled with the decision of the CDFC to allocate fixed amounts to the beneficiaries rather than applied amounts as per table below. Chair, I want to take this committee to the table. First club, Mpamvu Women's Club, they applied for 40,000. They were given 11,113 kwacha. The purpose of that application was for them to buy a hammer mill. My question is, can you buy a hammer mill at 11,000? The other one, Njoka Cooperative, 40,000 they applied. Njoka Pano, Women's, I'm reading, this is my home. Njoka Pano Women's Club, 40,000 applied for. They only get 13,400. Chair, I can go on, you are able to see, but the of interest is number 5. Vizenge multipurpose society. Chair, can you manage, yes. Honorable Mwene? Okay. Vizenge multipurpose society club. They applied for 20,000. They were given 11,113. Their intention was to buy a tractor, I'm sure, isn't it? Is it tractor machine? I don't know which machine. But what they actually ventured into was selling diesel and the talk time. Chair, as you are monitoring, Council Secretary, first, before monitoring, when you as a technical team advising the CDF committee, you failed to advise the CDF committee who were allocating 11,000 kwachas to clubs and expected them to venture in those clubs they applied for, when you knew for sure that these amounts were low. Don't you think that you as technocrats are the ones who failed the Lumezi CDF committee and not the committee itself? Second, those who ventured into selling of diesel and talk time, especially fuel, I've seen they are not the only ones. You as technocrats who are monitoring these clubs, what action did you do or did you take to ensure that you stop these people from venturing into businesses that you know that are against the law? The law stipulates clearly who can sell fuel. Until the auditors went to unearth this, there's no action that came from management. Is your technical team, DPO is here and other members, competent to guide the people of Lumezi correctly? Chair, that was my question.
Thank you. Council Secretary.
Chair. Of course, we have attached the minutes that came from the audit committee because this matter was tabled through the audit committee. And then if you go through their minutes where the audit committee recommended to the CDFC committee that they should never allocate small amounts to projects. They would rather share the amounts equally in wards, but with maybe per ward they can be maybe 6 people, each getting 40-40. And like the way it happened where the whole, most of them got 11,130, meaning that they did not do what they had applied for. That's where the problem was. So you find that even those that wanted to venture into poultry, buying a hammer mill, they're given things they didn't apply for, so it was quite difficult. So even the technocrats who sit in the CDF committee at the time, there are minutes that we have when the CDF sat, and the technocrats also advised, because they are part of that committee, that the funds should be given according to what the clubs had applied. But that was not what was on the ground.
Okay. Honorable Simomba, Honorable Nyambose.
Yes.
Honorable
Chair,
Thank you very much for that explanation, CS. Now, I want you to take you to number 1. The very Mpamvu women. She applied for 40,000, and you gave her or them 11,113. The intention of this, they wanted to buy a hammer mill. I'll take you again, number 4. Becho, Lembe, whatever, MPC. They applied for 40,000. Then you gave them 40,000. And their intention was the same as the one who you gave them 11,113. Because even these, they wanted to buy a hammer mill. I wanted to know the criteria that you used for this number 4, who applied for 40,000 with the same reason with the one on top Mpamvu to buy hammer mill. But the one for number 4, you gave them 40,000, and the other one, 11,000. What happened? I submit, Chair.
Council Secretary, but you know, when I look at this question, honorable members, I don't know, her explanation was that the technocrats advised. Just a minute. I have not given anyone the floor. The technocrats were in that meeting. Who was in that meeting? DPO? And you advised the CDF committee went ahead to say, no, we're going to reduce the amounts to that.
Yes, Chair, we actually did advise.
And they went ahead. You see, the danger here, like Honorable Nyambosa and everybody was put, is that these people, they came with applications before the council that want to get a hammer mill, and you end up giving them that. We cannot belabor honorable members talking about this. You know that the CDF is the one that went to make that decision against the applications that the members of the community, brought before them. And this ultimately made these people not to achieve their goals, made them not to actually undertake, the projects they wanted to do. Next. No, I was bringing a clarification on that. I wanted us to understand, because sometimes we would be going around on something that we can't even solve as a committee. No. No. Listen, please help me to manage this meeting. Honorable Sumumba. Okay. CS, amongst these others, all of them actually applied for 40,000. But there is one club that you chose.
How special is it?
So is that related, to the council?
The technocrats, they guided that everyone should be given the fixed amount. But why did you go against the guidance that the technocrats guide?
Council Secretary.
Thank you, Chair. May the DPO shed more light on this one.
DPO, you were in that meeting.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, the way the decision was arrived at was that they look at the whole amount. So Lumeza has got 11 wards. So they said, let's divide the amount by 11 wards so that each ward is going to get an equal allocation. Then thereafter, they were looking at now the number of applicants in that particular ward. So, and then again, that amount was divided by the number of applicants in that particular ward. So now, where this Bechelimbe Multipurpose Cooperative Group is, in this ward, you find that there are only 4 applications. So they said, since it's about 160 which is supposed to go to each ward. So that's how come a good number of clubs that are belonging to this ward is actually in the valley part of the district. That's how come they
thank you very much.
ended up getting the 40.
No. DPO, DPO, you know, honorable members, no matter how much you interrogate this one, you will not get anywhere. These people made a decision. All we can say as a committee is that we don't agree with that position, because ultimately our people didn't benefit. They didn't get what they wanted to get, and that's the message that we want you as technocrats, when you sit with them, please go and register, because this money, the 11,113, we don't even know if this money is still there. But who has made that situation? Who has caused that situation? It's you, DPO, with your committee. So we wanted to register that, you know, when people, our people, because ultimately the CD of the loans and the grants is to uplift the lives of the people, is to make sure that the people's lives are transformed through the cooperatives, through the activities that they can undertake as communities. But it should not be us, the CDF committee, that are going to shoot down that, like it happened in here. So we can talk here. It's not this committee, it's not management, but it's the CDF with the technocrats that have made a very wrong, to us, it's a very wrong decision, because this money, we can't recover it. It's not there. No. What I mean, yes, these are grants, but grants are the aim of the grants, giving people grants, it's not for them to go and buy chicken and fly. It's for them to start from somewhere. It's a stepping stone. They are supposed to be doing something. Whether the money goes back or not, you have defeated the purpose of giving people grants. That's what I mean. Yes, another question.
Thank you so much, Chair. Just one short one. CS page 5.
Is it on the same?
No, just different. Just one clarification on page 5 about this selling of petroleum product without a license. I'm very interested in the cause of the query. Okay, it's saying management acknowledges the findings by the auditors at the time of the audit, and this happened due to lack of knowledge. I wanted just a clarification. Lack of knowledge by the council
secretary
or by the members of the cooperative, because they are supposed to be enlightened by the council. Thank you, Chair.
Council Secretary.
Thank you, Chair. Of course, it should have been the cooperative that did not understand the laws that govern the sale of petroleum.
You are going back to that.
You've stated it, lack of knowledge by the cooperatives. It's well stipulated here. Sometimes just go to what you've written. And insufficient what? Funding. So the question would have been, who should have given the light? Who should have told the cooperative to say there's Act on Petroleum Act of 2008? Who? Because even if you were to go to them today, ask them of this act, they wouldn't know.
Yeah, thank you. I think in their submission they said during their monitoring they discovered the people are doing that and stopped them because they realized what they are trading in is illegal. Honorable Shagafuso.
Chair, thank you so much. On page 9, on the disaster component, I note that you have some remaining funds there of 99,000 and the period 2022. Is this money still intact in the bank, or you've used it on some other project? Especially that you had carried on some projects from 2021 which were not funded in 2022. I submit, Chair.
Council Secretary.
Thank you, Chair. These funds have been carried over to 2023 projects.
Chair, so they remained in the bank.
That was the balance, yes.
That okay. It's coming back to treasure. No wonder we are now questioning, like you are also putting a question mark. I don't know as to why it didn't dawn on you. Over the interest of how much? 600? 600? 625 kwacha? No. My old grandfather would say nix. And you've said it properly through your CS. Let's have the proper interest on that money and let the information be given to Secretariat. There is no way you have an interest of 625 over huge sums of money. Again, my grandfather would say, nix, no.
Honorable Singombe.
It's a different question, Chair.
Yes, go ahead.
CS, I just wanted to know how the people of Lumezi have behaved in terms of paying back the loans. At what rate in percentage terms are the people of Lumezi paying back on their own repayment? Thank you.
Thank you. Council Secretary.
Thank you, Chair. Let me give this to the Treasurer.
We can hardly hear you.
Treasurer.
Thank you very much, Chair. Out of the beneficiaries, 43 they've defaulted. Only 3 have managed to pay back the interest. I submit, Chair.
Honorable Singombe, yes.
So you are saying 43 have defaulted and only 3 have paid. What is the local authority doing? Are we seeing the local authority maybe reporting the defaulters to the police? Or are we seeing the local authority swinging in action to recover through what they had given as collateral? Thank you.
Treasurer.
Thank you, Chair. We are taking action against them. We need to go on the ground and find out the reason why they are not paying back the loans. Because initially, these loans they are paid back direct into their accounts. But after inquiring with the bank, that's when I got that information that 3 of them, at least they're performing very well. They're able to pay back, but the 42, they've defaulted. So we had to do a monitoring and find out the reason why these people who got the loans are not paying back. I submit, Chair.
Yes.
You are yet to monitor. Why have you taken so long?
Treasurer.
Thank you, Chair. I can put this to your attention that the loans were just recently debased. We started in, the first batch was in August. They were being distributed in bits. As you may be seen, as you check even on the appendixes, you see the number of dates, and the condition is after 2 months, that's when they're supposed to start paying the interest. So in December when we inquired, that's when we discovered that only 3 have managed to pay back. Those who got in August. But these who got recent, like in October, those haven't paid anything so far. I submit, Chair.
Thank you very much. Dr. Mwanza.
I take you to page 9 of your report. I'm aware that you gave a supplementary submission through an addendum to correct the amount of money that you said the 4,200 and something. So, mine on this one, you are saying the local authority sued authority for a variation of funds amounting to 4,202,558. This is your statement answering to auditor query, and you are confirming you suit authority to this amount 4,200, and it was it is from your office that applied to local authority to suit authority for this amount to be varied. But when I look at the notice of conveyance, variation of the Constituency Development Fund, Lumezi constituency, and Appendix 10. The office gave you authority for an amount to 4,382,000 kwacha.
It was changed.
It has changed. You made the leadership. Your own application you applied for, I'm sure the leadership just followed your application. You applied for 4,382,000, and hence they replied based on your application. But now, reporting to auditors' queries, yourself, you are saying that you suit authority for 4,200, implicating one or two officers. Either your office is telling the truth, or the leadership that had to do the auditing. And there's an amount of, the difference is 179,442 kwacha.
Council Secretary, respond to that.
Thank you, Chair. May I request the Director of Finance to give more light on this one.
Thank you very much, Chair. As you may be aware, the time when the CS was just starting to present the report, he mentioned that in our balances as at December we had 4,200,000, but they had sought a variation that was around in October, of which they sought it was about 4.3. But meanwhile, the actual figure after doing the reconciliation as at December, it was 4.2. So when we are given the approval, went by the 4.2, which we knew that that's the monies which has remained, and that's the one which we varied to issues of desks. And if you look even on the contracts which have been awarded, what has been awarded is exactly 4.2, not the 4.3, which was approved. I submit, Chair.
Through you, Chair. But in your report to the audit, the story is well understood. Why you couldn't say the local authority suit authority for a variation of funds amounting to 4.3? However, the council, to explain, because in this situation, the 179,442 has disappeared. We don't know whether it is to the council or to the leadership at the provincial office. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes.
Director Finance. You do not have 3 chickens. Then you go to your father and say, Dad, allow me use the 3 chickens. Is it true? When you yourself, you just have 2 chickens. Can you do such a thing?
No, Chair.
Exactly. It's you who wrote to say, please allow us to use how much? 4,382. Then you come and tell your committee to say, of course, what we had, CS, is 4,202. Sorry, then you'll be misleading your CS. No wonder someone asked, do you work as a team? How much was in the bank at the time you were seeking authority? Do you have the proof of what was sitting in the bank?
Treasurer, you able to answer that?
I think, Chair, on that one, I can maybe take it to my colleague DPO to answer on that one, because it seems was there at that time when they were
DPO
requesting for that to submit.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, if we go back to okay, when the time we were reporting this item to the committee, finance had advised us that we had spent about 500,000 towards skills and bursaries. So now it was discovered that at the end of the year, when finance again went through their records, they discovered that the money that was readily available at that particular time was 4.2. So, Chair, to
confusing ourselves.
Yeah, so it was discovered that the amount that was readily available to spend in that particular component was 4.2. That's how come on the action taken when procurement were doing the procurement, they restricted themselves to the 4.2 million. Thank you, Chair.
Yes, follow up on this one. Just a quick.
Chair, with that money on top, which you asked for, and the approval was given, squarely Chair sits with the management. They know where that money has gone.
And just a follow-up on that, how do you intend to correct the situation, to reconcile, to inform like the provincial leadership office? What action are you taking over this?
Council Secretary.
Thank you, Chair. Maybe the DT can shed more light.
But my understanding, I don't know, maybe I'm missing it. My understanding is that you ask for money. It's just like the contract. The contract you can sort a clearance from the office of 5 million. But the contractor, at the time of contract somebody, you get it at 4.8 or 4.7. So, of course, it's not the exact amount that was approved there. You have settled. For instance, this we wanted to pay for students, but if you don't have students, that will make you pay 4.3. What are you going to do? You will pay the number of students, which maybe will be up to 4.2. So of course, the only explanation that maybe you would offer is that yes, we paid this, we asked this, and we paid this. This balance is this side. Period. The balance is supposed to be there. Honorable Shakafuso, as we wind up.
Yes, Chair. On page 11, there's a table there which is the query is failure to spend 11.9 million. And you're telling us that you have since spent everything. And you have given us a table there of unspent funds, expenditure, and unspent is 0. Is this a true narration that you have 0 funds on the ongoing projects?
Maybe in addition, always when you are running projects, you don't pay at once. So there could be some money that is hanging because they have not paid. So why do you have 0 instead?
Thank you, Chair. If the DT will give more light on the same.
Treasurer.
Thank you, Chair. I think this question had come earlier, where I explained that when you go to the summary of the ledgers and also the individual ledgers, you'll be able to see on the projects which we've completed where we've remained with more small balances. But on this table, we assume that the entire funds, the projects for 2022, they already committed, we've already spent, and you find that most of them, we are at 100%, but there are still those retention which are remaining. But when you go to the ledgers, to our ledgers, you find what is showing there.
Yes, but that is misleading, Treasurer, because those small figures were supposed to be here. So no, this one on the balances are those small things. It was supposed to be explained. So in this one, because now we ask here, then you take us somewhere or whatever. Yes.
That's why I had to ask, because the treasurer, no, I'm sure he's an accountant, and when there is money that are waiting to be paid, even the money that is committed, it doesn't mean you have spent. Why didn't you put, is this a standard way of reporting? In Rumezi, where the money that are committed to you, it means that you have spent. Because you are supposed to put here and spend money so that you can explain now why you haven't spent that type of money. To say, no, these monies are committed and so forth. But to you, each money that is committed, it means you have spent.
Even retention.
Even retention. Does it mean you have spent everything? That's why I said, is this the standard in terms of accounting? Really? Chair, I would want to hear from the
Treasurer.
Thank you very much, Chair. That's not the standard. We acknowledge that we've made an error on that one, and going forward, I think we'll go by the ledgers and show exactly the balance which has been spent. I submit, Chair.
Thank you. As you wind up, Honorable Kamundo.
Thank you. I liked actually Lumezi when they were reporting about the presidential directive over the desks. I just want to find out, what progress have you made in terms of procuring the desks? Have you procured all, or you still have some balances? And one thing that I want to acknowledge and appreciate is that even the people that you trained are the ones that are doing that job. Maybe could you shed more light on that one?
Council Secretary. Yes.
Manufacturing of desks vis-a-vis climate change. How do you... No, I'm asking.
Go ahead.
There's massive manufacturing of desks in this country. And I'm being sincere and very honest with this matter. How do we reconcile? Here we are talking about climate change. Most of the local authorities that have come before you from Eastern Province have talked about, or they have attributed the delayment of projects as a result of inaccessibility to projects. Why is it you're coming from? It's coming from the climate change. CS, I want to know, how do you balance out? What type of timber are you using for you to manufacture to ameliorate the climate change on the other side?
Council Secretary, those questions?
Thank you, Chair. May I please request the procurement officer to answer that?
Your voice is very low. Okay. Who is answering?
The procurement officer.
Procurement officer.
Thank you very much, Chair. In response to the climate change that the Honorable has alluded to, every contractor that is given the supply and delivery of desks, we tell them to plant 5 trees per school. Each school that they deliver the desks to, they plant 5 trees. And then we are also using MDF boards, which is recycled timber, as opposed to the original timber from the forestry. Thank you very much.
And then the procurement saying,
so for the number of desks, the procurement is ongoing, but we've made progress to make sure that the deficit in the district is attained before the end of the period that was given by the presidential directive. Thank you.
Chair, through you, we are interested in that progress. He said in terms of percentages, 10, 50?
In terms of percentages, I think we are above 50%. The shortage of the number of desks in the district were about 18,000 desks. So far, we have procured over 9,000 desks in the district. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Umezi, we have noticed and concerned with the gaps that are amongst you in terms of reporting. You are a bit uncoordinated, and we want to make sure, we want to urge you to make sure that you polish up and be able to work as a team. We urge you to continue working very hard, monitoring these projects, and make sure that when you draw up a project, it should come, you should come with one voice. At this point, I wish to withdraw the immunity that was conferred on you to allow you to travel back to Rumezi. We wish you well. Thank you very much. You are free to leave.
The Clerk of the National Assembly of Zambia wishes to inform all members of Parliament and the general public that the third session of the 13th National Assembly, which adjourned sine die on Friday, 15th December 2023, will resume on Tuesday, 13th February 2024 at 14:30 hours.
Parliament TV, bringing Parliament closer to you.
Keep watching Parliament Television.